daughter, she talked me into the first beginning glass bead making class. And she and I took a class here in the Louisville area with a woman named Bonnie Blinko. And that's all it took. You know, after that, I was hooked. So I got my start here by getting my torch for my birthday. And then my husband gave me an oxygen concentrator for Christmas. And then, you know, you steal the propane tank off of the grill and you're ready to go. For a long time, I had loved glass already. But when I work with glass, I can't always predict what's going to happen. Sometimes I get unusual reactions. Sometimes it behaves differently than I expect it to behave. So those in particular are the things that fascinate me about glass. I love the translucity, I love the opaqueness, I love the unexpected reaction, and the process, the creation process of both the glass beads and the jewelry. I begin by working at an oxygen propane torch, which gives me a really hot flame so that I can melt the glass, usually onto a stainless steel welding rod that I've coated with a release agent. And you begin by laying down a base bead of glass, and then you can add decorations in different colors or different intensities to that. I enjoy making beach glass beads. They start as an opaque ivory bead. I wrap it in silver foil, put the transparents on top, and then when I melt everything together, I'm careful to leave the silver foil shining through behind the transparents. But the silver reacts with the ivory, so I get a sand-like look. So that's where the beach glass name comes from. And as each bead is finished, it then goes into the kiln where it is annealed at near 1,000 degrees for about an hour and then slowly cooled down. And that makes the bead strong. So then after they've had a chance to cool, I'll clean them, meaning I take them off of that stainless steel rod and clean out the holes. And then after that, it's step 2, on to assembling jewelry. And I use sterling silver and 14 karat gold filled and other things that I think are worthy of the investment I've made into the beads. Often it's a trial and error process. So I'll make a bead, see what it looks like, and particularly inspect it after it comes out of the kiln and decide if I need to go back again and redo it. But it sometimes evolves from there too. I'll make the bead and then I'll go, oh, but it needs this yet, and end up adding it. So once I have made the beads that I'm satisfied with, then I will take those beads and begin the jewelry assembly process. And often the assembly process means that I'm doing wire work, twisting and banging and hammering and forging, soldering, and then using those components along with the bead to make the finished product. So then the finished product either goes to one of two places. One, it will go to a gallery, or it will go with me to a show. And a lot of the shows around are outdoor shows, so you end up setting up the tent, putting up all of the display stuff, and then being open for business to sell it to the public. My inspiration comes from nature. And one of the characteristics of a lot of my beads is they have black trails of glass around the outside. And that, for instance, was inspired by birch trees, when you see those rings going around the birch trees. I love the colors that nature offers, particularly in flowers. And so often the color combinations that you see in flowers inspire my color combinations too. People will say, your pieces are so unique. They're not like everything else I'm seeing here at this art show. And I strive for that. That uniqueness is important to me. It's a part of my ongoing creative process. There's always something rattling around back here in the back of my head about what am I going to develop next. One of the things I tell my customers is that I really want them to wear the piece. It needs to fit correctly, it needs to be the right length, so I pay attention to that because I want it worn. That's what I make it for. And my customers know my pieces, so when they see somebody else wearing them, they will say, "Oh, that's an Ann Klem piece, isn't it?" Because each piece is unique, distinctive. It may have sisters out there, but every piece is truly unique.